If you are over 60, there is one silent warning sign most people never recognize. Mini strokes. They can last only minutes. They can vanish completely. And yet, they often signal something much larger. Most people imagine a stroke as dramatic or obvious. But in reality, the first clues are often subtle, even fleeting. Today, you will learn 8 early signs your brain may give. Signs you should never ignore. Before we walk through the 8 signs, it helps to understand why these events matter. As we age, the blood vessels feeding the brain become less flexible. Small clots or small vessel spasms can briefly block blood flow. These short events are called TIA, transient ischemic attacks, also known as mini strokes. They pass quickly, but they are not harmless. They mean one thing clearly: the system is under strain. Research shows that within 48 hours of a TIA, the risk of a full stroke rises sharply. That is why recognizing what is happening, even if it seems to go away, is so important. Your body is giving an early signal. The goal is to notice it in time. And in adults over 60, that strain often shows up in quieter ways. Blood vessels stiffen gradually with age, and the small arteries deep inside the brain become more vulnerable to brief interruptions. A tiny clot may dissolve on its own, or the vessel may reopen within moments. But during that interruption, the affected brain region goes offline. These events often cluster. There may be several brief episodes over days or weeks, each one disappearing before anyone recognizes it. For many people, these small signals are the only warning the body gives before a larger stroke occurs. This is why early recognition matters so deeply. Mini strokes are not small strokes. They are early strokes. They are the body telling you that circulation is unstable, not in hours or days, but in seconds. To make sense of the 8 signs, here is the simple mechanism behind them. The brain works like a map. Each area controls a specific function: speech, movement, vision, balance, sensation. When blood flow stops for even a few seconds, that region switches off. The result is sudden loss of that function, and when blood flow returns, the function returns. That abrupt on-off pattern is the key difference between mini strokes and other age-related changes. It is not gradual decline. It is not fatigue that improves with rest. It is a precise, sudden change in one domain, and then recovery. Many people miss this because they feel normal again and assume it was nothing. But temporary means transient blood flow loss. That is the warning you never want to overlook. Here are 8 early signs, from the most recognized to the more easily dismissed. 8. Sudden weakness or paralysis on one side. An arm, a leg, or the face suddenly will not move or feels heavy. Clinically, this is categorized as a negative motor symptom, meaning a lack of output rather than overactivity. People often misinterpret this as muscle fatigue or a joint problem because we are conditioned to explain weakness as something happening inside the limb, not coming from the brain that controls it. 7. Sudden difficulty speaking. Words come out slurred or jumbled. You know what to say, but cannot form it. Inexpressive aphasia studies this abrupt drop in speech production correlates strongly with short perfusion loss in the language-dominant hemisphere. And that is why this is not stuttering or nervousness. It is the moment the output system briefly stops receiving fuel. 6. Sudden trouble understanding language. You hear clearly, but cannot grasp meaning, as if the words lose sense. This is a classic cortical processing disruption. Comprehension is an active decoding task, not a passive sound reception. The sensory ear is fine, the semantic interpreter is not. That difference is subtle in the moment, which is why many people mislabel this as distraction. 5. Sudden vision change. One eye goes dark, double vision appears, or part of the view disappears. In clinical descriptions of amaurosis fugax, the black curtain metaphor is specifically documented as a monocular, segment-like visual dropout. Adjusting glasses, blinking, or rubbing the eye does not restore it, because the problem is not optical hardware, but the temporary blackout of the processing map behind the eye. 4. Sudden dizziness or sudden loss of balance. A strong spinning or staggering sensation, not related to standing up too fast. Neurologically, this pattern is not circulatory lightheadedness. It is a cerebellar or brainstem integration failure. Balance is a computation, and when the integrator goes offline even briefly, the world can feel tilted or skewed without any movement at all. That experience is why it should not be brushed off as just standing up too fast. 3. Sudden numbness or tingling, pins and needles, or loss of feeling on one side. That does not change with movement. Sensory cortex mapping is arranged side to side, so when one hemisphere loses signal, one side of the body loses sensation. Changing posture does not reconnect neural throughput, only restored blood flow does. If sensation returns suddenly and without mechanical stretching, that is a central pattern, not a limb-level issue. 2. Sudden severe headache. A lightning-fast headache that peaks within seconds, unlike any usual pain. This pattern follows a rapid vascular pressure swing. It is not the slow build of tension or the triggered cascade of migraine. Most people expect pain to ramp, but these events peak instantly. That instant maximum is the red flag. The timing profile is the message. 1. In brief loss of awareness. Moments of blackout or confusion where time seems to disappear. This is a continuity gap, a skipped frame in consciousness, caused by a temporary interruption of the systems that maintain wakeful state. Retrospectively, it often feels like time was missing. That is not zoning out. That is the brief absence of integrated awareness. Each of these can last seconds or minutes, then vanish. That return to normal is what fools many people. But every episode like this is the brain sending a clear and urgent signal. Many people never mention these episodes to anyone, not to family, and not to a clinician, because the symptoms vanish quickly and daily routine feels normal again. Transient resolution does not equal normal function. When a system restabilizes on the surface, the underlying risk state may still be active. That is why the idea of "it's stopped, so it must be fine" is so dangerous. The brain signals through abrupt change, and returning to baseline does not erase the underlying cause. Here is the essential takeaway. Mini strokes are temporary interruptions of blood supply. The brain shows them through abrupt changes in strength, speech, vision, balance, or sensation. They may be brief, but they are never trivial. The suddenness is the message. Understanding this pattern helps you recognize when your body is warning you. Knowledge does not replace professional care. It gives you the awareness to act quickly, because the difference between reaction and prevention often lies in those first few minutes. Your brain speaks in patterns, not in words. When something changes suddenly, listen. Recognizing these early signs is not about fear. It is about agency. It means you understand your body's language. It means you pay attention to small changes that protect the big ones.